FAMU is coming in this thing this season. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, they got some things that they can brag about. And sometimes people don't understand, when you got good programs that's like jointed at the hip, things sometimes, kind of turn around for you in a manner which you least expected. Coach Colzie is going into his second season as the head football coach for the Florida A&M Rattlers. Last season, I believe he was 7-5. There's a couple of games there that, they kind of got away from him at the end. But I know one game in particular they're going to have circled is that one that they got to play Mississippi Valley State in Atlanta, Georgia, because they trying to get a little get back. And, it kind of seemed, a little bit here and there that they were kind of, I want to say kind of winded. Kind of, just out of it. I guess they had too many plays out there on the field, or, they just didn't have that extra gear that they needed to get to where they need to get to as far as with crossing that finish line and finishing the drill. But I'm thinking that, sometimes when you pay attention to what somebody else is doing as far as with the recipe that they got going on, you got to kind of take a little bit of the seasoning that they got going on over there and sprinkle that thing in a little bit for yourself to get stuff moving how you want it to move. And I know y'all like, Coach, you sound like you about to get you over there cooking gumbo or something. You ain't over there cooking no conch fish, no conch salad, nothing like that. What you got going on? Not yet. But I'm looking at some things here. I'm looking at some stuff that got me, kind of wondering like, okay, what fam you got up their sleeve over there? I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen with this quarterback thing, how that's going to work out, exactly what's going on, what Coach Colzie got up his sleeve over there. Guys, let's go ahead and talk about a couple of things right after this. Favorite coach back at it again. 10 toes down, about to tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and share these videos. And tap in a friend or two and tell them to come on in. It's nothing positive vibes. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms. The links are listed down below in the description. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump on in this thing. Because they're like, Coach, what's your thoughts on this? What you got going on over there? Your mind is wandering around over there. What's going on, Coach? Look, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I really enjoy the banter between these two programs because the back and forth between the two programs, from the bands, to whose football team is the better team, so on and so forth. I love the back and forth that goes on with them. And I'm sure y'all know who I'm talking about already. I ain't talking about none other than FAMU and Jackson State. And, the funny thing is, FAMU, they got a lot to brag about over there. You get what I'm saying? Because Jackson State, they sit back in the cut. They let FAMU, they kind of remind them of certain things all the time when it comes to, like the band, who's better band, who has the better band, or better yet, that one thing they get to talk about them coaches. Yeah, they get talking about coaches and whatnot. You know how that thing go because, you got a stadium that's at the highest of Seven Hills. It's named after a former Jackson State head football coach. With the last name, Bragg. Get to brag a little bit. You got to brag a little bit, right? So, we're going to have a little fun with this thing because, I'm just in the mood to be a little giddy with this thing. Just have some fun with it because, football season getting a little close. Let's go ahead and stir some things and get some people talking as far as what's really happening here because I'm just sitting here, I'm looking like, God, dog, okay. You had Coach Bragg, Juby Bragg that was at Jackson State in the early 1913? He was might have been the very first head coach. I could be wrong. With Jackson State University, and then he moved on and he went to Florida State and got the coaching over there. Not Florida State, FAMU, and got the coaching over there. Forgive me, FAMU. I said Florida State. I'm talking about the folks across the street, and I know y'all gonna be pissed off with that. So forgive your favorite coach with that. Don't turn off. Stay with me now. Stay with me. Y'all gonna enjoy this. Just stay with your boy at one time. But I'm sitting here and I'm looking at how everything, is progressing with both of the programs. Coach Colzie, like I stated before, going into his second year as the Rattlers head football coach. And he's looking to get some things together as far as how he got to change some stuff up, get some things moving in the direction that he needs for them to move. And looking at how the team fared last season after winning the HBCU National Championship in the Celebration Bowl against Howard University. They won that trophy in 2023. One thing that they was able to do quicker than Jackson State was Jackson State fans will get mad at the coach, but I got to call it how I see it. They weren't able to win that trophy before Jackson State did. Jackson State had 2 bites at the apple to get it done while Coach Deion Sanders was there with the program. Now, with all that being said, Coach Prime understood that after losing that first game to South Carolina State 31-10, that he needed to get somebody in there that's going to help get the team in order so that they could be more conditioned, be more ready to get out there and compete for a full 4 quarters. Because, you know, you have some folks out there, boy, they pulling on their pants, boy, they pulling on the thigh pads, boy, looking a little tired, looking a little suspect out there in a couple of them games. They wanted to make sure everybody was up to snuff so that, you know, depending on, it didn't matter what the conditions looked like, they were going to be able to get out there, succeed, and handle business in the manner which they need to. And you know what? With that being said, guess what? Coach Colzie said, you know what? Them boys came in here, they gave it to us in that Orange Blossom Classic. I think that thing was, 50... I think they dropped a 50 ball on FAMU in the last Orange Blossom Classic that they played against one another when Coach Prime was the head football coach and Willie Simmons was the head football coach over at FAMU. That was a real ugly win over there that, you know, the FAMU Rattlers folks, they didn't take too kindly to that, boy. I mean, I had Jackson State fans in the stands.
What you say again? You say what?
Unnecessary roughness against Jackson State.
Clowning board that thing. Because I was there. I was there for the game. I was there for the game at the Hard Rock Cafe Stadium in Miami, Florida. I came down and checked that thing out because I want to see how, I just wanted to get in the atmosphere to feel, you know, just get a feeling of how everything was going to go. But you got Coach Mo over at FAMU now. He's the Associate Athletic Director for Sports Performance and Wellness. Now, you know he about to come in there with a plan to make sure that these young men are ready to get themselves out there to compete and do his thing. I mean, just think about it. He was over there with, he was at the University of Georgia when them young men, they won their national championship. You saw how they played last season. They looked like they were a little lethargic out there on the field. When it came down time for the 4th quarter to come around, them boys didn't have no wind in them. So I'm really seeing Coach Mo really did some things over there with the University of Georgia, and when he left there, he came to Jackson State with Coach Prime, left from Jackson State, went to Colorado for a couple of years. Now he leave from Colorado. Now he's over on the highest of 7 hills with them FAMU Rattlers. And boy, guess what? The Rattlers just sitting back and they quiet. They real quiet. I'm not hearing a lot of stuff here and there. You know, they asking folks, why y'all so worried about us? Don't worry about us. We doing just fine over here. We got everything under control. We ain't worried about none of this stuff. We're going to come out here. We're going to produce. We're going to do what we need to do. And we're looking to walk away with a W in the game. Now, I'm waiting to find out for sure if what I heard was true. And then, you know, sometimes people put stuff up on social media that's not really on the one. You know, when I say on the one, I mean on the up. What I mean by that is that it was alleged or it may possibly happen that could the FAMU versus Jackson State game in Tallahassee, could that be a night game? Ooh, that's November 1st. That's weekend after birthday weekend. Yeah, I think I will be in Florida for that one. Yeah, I think I'm coming down there for that one. Yes. I think y'all can pencil me in on that one. I have not been to the brag. I'm looking down there to come brag just like everybody else. I want to brag a little different while I'm down there, have me a good time with everybody, and kick it and do what I love to do, which is rub elbows with everybody, just have a good time. But not only is Coach Mo over there looking to get the team together as far as with them being physically fit, so that they can compete all season long. But Coach Colzie done got him a linebacker. Linebacker's kind of going under the radar. I mean, this young man, yeah, he played for, if I'm not mistaken, he was at UAB last season. The young man played in 9 games. Played his high school football career was at Hoover. And if you don't know much about Hoover, hey, go back, do a search on YouTube for Hoover 2 days, and it'll give you a little insight on just how dominant that high school football program was back in the day. And they're still dominating now as far as with the athletes that they're getting into the program and the coaches that's coming through the program to get these young men prepared to move on and go play on a collegiate football level. And I'm gonna be honest with you, watching this young man play outside middle linebacker, this young man can do some damage. his ability to just get there. I mean, it's no. He doesn't have a misconception of where the ball is going to be. Once he sees the direction where that ball is going, he's on a beeline getting to it. He ain't wasting no time. He ain't wasting no steps. He's not pre-calculating. He's not over-calculating. He's not doing plus or minus. He's just getting there. He getting there. He getting there. And this young man looking to make a hit on your behind. And another thing that I like about this young man also is the fact that he can drop back in the coverage when he's playing at either position. If he has to drop back in the coverage and the other linebacker is on the blitz, this young man is able to go ahead, cover ground, and do what he needs to do. This is a great pickup for the FAMU Rattlers defense because, if I'm not mistaken, they lost some key players on that defense last season and definitely got to come back and reload a little bit to make sure everybody is intact as far as what's going on. But with that being said, like I stated, this young man in 9 games, he had 7 tackles for the season in the games that he played in. Now, I know you guys like, Coach, that ain't much, but, one thing I say is this. When you see talent out there on the field, you have to ask sometimes, why aren't these players getting an opportunity to play? And keep in mind, sometimes the programs that you go to, when there's new coaches or better yet, coaches, staffs, or position coaches that come into the program, remember, they did not sit on the couch and recruit you. If they did not sit on your couch and recruit you, guess what? 9 times out of 10, you might have to make a move, and that move is moving on to somewhere else. And if I'm not mistaken, this young man redshirted for 2 seasons while he was at University of Birmingham, Alabama. He redshirted his freshman year, which was 2022, and in 2023 he redshirted again as a sophomore. They stated that he did appear in 8 games at a special teams position. So that's something to keep in mind as well, as far as we're getting this young man out there and getting him acclimated as far as what's going to be required of him out there on that defense. Trust and believe, Coach Colzie is looking to put these pieces together so that these athletes can come in and do what they need to do. And not only that, but you got Coach Mo over there who, like I said before, was the strength and conditioning coach at Jackson State. And I'm sure a lot of y'all already know all of this. Like, man, shoot, we already knew Coach Sims was over there. It's all good. But you know what? I like the fact that Coach Sims, he chose to come back and be a part of another HBCU football program to continue. I call it giving back to these athletes, making sure that they're able to get the training, get the necessary tools that they need as far as with conditioning and things of that nature for them to understand what's required of them, especially when you talk about Power 5 programs, how they condition the athletes over there, making sure that things are done adequately so that the injuries, you lessen the injuries and things of that nature. So we're going to see exactly how all of this is going to work out for them this upcoming season. But guys, I can't wait. We were about 8 weeks. We're about 8 weeks away? 7-8 weeks away from kickoff. I'm ready. Let's go. It's time to get this thing going. Listen, I love the WNBA. I love the cup, the World Cup, and all that other business in the golf tournaments that's been on TV. But I need some daggone football. Hey, listen, this thing is driving me crazy. I mean, the NBA was pretty decent as far as with Oklahoma Thunder winning, and you had you had the Indiana Pacers playing against each other. That was cool. But now I need to see some action. I need to see some click-clack going on out there. I need to see some folks getting hit. I want to see that action. I want to see some fire going on out there on that field. So I don't know if you're ready like I am. Hey, make sure y'all leave y'all comments down below and let me know what y'all think about who you think will come out on top with this thing. Because, we got the media days coming up. We got SWAC Media Day coming up. We got the MEAC Media Day coming up. And, it's going to be a lot of talking going on up in that thing. So we're going to have some commentary on a lot of that stuff as well. So y'all make sure y'all tune in, tap in, tell a friend to come on in and hang out with your favorite coach, Coach Walker, over here at Tomorrow League Sports Network. But guys, we're going to go ahead and get up on out this thing. But until next time, be the one and lead.